Causes of the Great Depression. The economy of the 1920s wasn't very diverse. Basically, the economy was in a dependent relationship with the construction and auto industries. It couldn't stand on its own. Though a few new industries came into play and tried to pick up the slack, they never made much difference. The credit system was also a major flaw. Small banks were making too many loans, and citizens were struggling to pay them back, and on the other hand, some big banks foolishly made loans while carelessly investing in the stock market. There was overproduction of goods, but people weren't making enough to purchase the goods. Production was up, and money was down. About half of American families lived at or below the poverty level in 1929. International trade was really weak at the time for America. European markets were producing more goods, but their economy was steadily declining because of World War I debts. Needless to say, there was a drop in demand for American goods. After World War I, many countries involved with the Allies owed massive debts to American banks. Although these countries couldn't pay back their debts, the U.S. government refused to relieve them. Some friends we are. The government began making loans to European nations so that they could pay the war debts. Obviously, this only created more debt, and many countries defaulted. Contrary to popular belief, the Depression wasn't solely caused on the crash of the stock market. The crash just started a domino effect that eventually exposed all the problems in the American economic system. Reactions to the Great Depression. President Hoover tried to revive confidence in the economic system as a first response to the Depression. He started a system called voluntary cooperation, where he asked business leaders to continue production at the same rate while keeping all of their employees. He also requested that laborers refrain from demanding higher pay or better hours. But the Depression continued to worsen, and by 1931, the system deteriorated and failed. Hoover also increased government spending in an attempt to combat the Depression. He wanted the government to support public works programs, but as the Depression continued, he became more worried with balancing the national budget. The agricultural economy had begun to struggle even before the Depression, and Hoover concocted the Agricultural Marketing Act. This act established a farm board that would make loans to marketing cooperatives or set up corporations that would buy the excess goods in order to raise prices. Another thing Hoover did to help farmers was institute the Hawley-Smoot tariff. This tariff was meant to protect farmers from international competition. Both of these attempts to help farmers ultimately produced very little aid. Hoover also instituted the Reconstruction Finance Corporation. This organization was a large scale and meant to provide loans for struggling banks, railroads, and other businesses. This program also failed in the end. Now it's time to move on to the next point.